Look at you, Jerry. You just got a mid-level promotion, you bought a cheap suit that almost fits, and now you're puffing on an $80 Cuban cohiba like you're Tony Montana closing a cartel deal. You feel like a titan of industry, don't you? You feel powerful.
It's the pinnacle of luxury, Crow, a genuine Cuban. You can't get this kind of quality anywhere else in the world. It's exclusive. It tastes like success.
It tastes like ammonia and geopolitical propaganda, Jerry. You didn't buy a superior smoking experience. You bought a ghost. You bought a myth from 1962. You were paying triple the price for a product with the quality control of a blindfolded dart game, just because an old communist with a beard had a phenomenal PR strategy. Today, we are going to expose how the ultimate symbol of capitalist success is actually a state-run scam wrapped in a counterfeit leaf. Welcome to the Cuban Cigar Cartel.
To understand why you are currently inhaling a beautifully branded disappointment, we have to rewind the server back to the 1950s. Back then, Jerry, you would have been right. Cuban cigars were the undisputed heavyweight kings of the world.
Ha! I knew it. It's the soil, the terroir, the magical Cuban sunshine. You can't replicate the dirt, Crow.
Yes, the soil in the Vuelta Abajo region is great. It has a specific mineral density. But the real magic wasn't just the dirt, Jerry. It was the software running the hardware. It was the people. It was generations of master blenders, families who spent centuries perfecting the exact molecular science of fermenting, aging, and rolling tobacco. They were artists. They treated leaves like gold. But then, the server crashed, and the artists got evicted.
In 1959, Fidel Castro took over Cuba. Shortly after, he pointed a gun at all those master blenders and said, "Congratulations, your family legacy now belongs to the government." It was the ultimate hostile takeover. Every single farm nationalized.
Wait, so the government just stole the factories and expected to make the same cigars?
Exactly. And then came the knockout punch. In 1962, the U.S. dropped the embargo. Suddenly, Cuban cigars became illegal in the biggest, richest market in the world. But here is where the elite play you for a fool, Jerry. Guess what President John F. Kennedy did just hours before he signed that embargo, making Cuban cigars illegal for regular NPCs like you?
He warned people?
No, Jerry. He called his press secretary, Pierre Salinger, and ordered him to buy every single H. Upmann Petite Upmann cigar he could find in Washington, D.C. He bought 1,200 of them. He literally secured his own personal stash of luxury, locked it in his desk, and then made it a federal crime for you to buy one. The rules are for you, Jerry. The luxury is for them. And because they made it illegal, it became the ultimate forbidden fruit.
But here is the secret the guys at the country club won't tell you. The Cuban cigars of today are not the Cuban cigars JFK smoked, because the government kept the factories, but they lost the talent. Those legendary tobacco families didn't just sit around to be government employees. Master blenders from families like Padron and Menendez packed their bags and fled the country, and they didn't leave empty-handed.
What do they take? The secret recipes?
Better. They smuggled out the source code, the actual uncorrupted Corojo and Criollo tobacco seeds. They took those seeds to places like the Dominican Republic, Honduras, and Nicaragua. And guess what they found in Nicaragua, Jerry?
More dictators?
Volcanic soil, Jerry. Soil that is chemically identical and in some cases vastly richer in nitrogen and magnesium than the overworked, exhausted dirt in Cuba. The masters rebuilt their empires from scratch. They had the original seeds, they had better soil, and most importantly, they had the passion to crush the government that stole their homes. The true soul of Cuban tobacco hasn't lived in Cuba for decades. It moved. Meanwhile, back in Cuba, the entire industry is run by a state-owned monopoly called Habanos S.A. And let me ask you a question, Jerry. What happens when a government monopoly has zero competition and a guaranteed line of wealthy tourists begging to buy their product just for the Instagram photo?
They get lazy and cut costs?
They literally stop trying. Zero incentive for quality control. They rush the fermentation process. Proper fermentation takes years to remove the ammonia from the leaves. Cuba rushes it in months, which is why your $80 cigar tastes like bitter grass. They underpay the rollers, so the cigars are plugged tight
straight, and you have to suck on them like a golf ball through a garden hose. You have a 50-50 chance that your luxury Cuban will even burn straight.
But mine has the holographic band. It's authentic.
Is it? Because the demand for this 60-year-old myth is so incredibly high, the market is flooded with fakes. Experts estimate that a massive percentage of Cubans smoked by Americans are counterfeits. There is a very high probability that the exclusive Cohiba you are smoking right now is actually cheap Mexican tobacco swept off a factory floor, wrapped in a banana leaf, and sold to you by a guy named Steve in a Cancun resort lobby.
But the critics, the magazines, the guys on Wall Street, they always swear by Cubans.
Oh, the romance. It's a classic placebo effect mixed with financial Stockholm syndrome. In blind taste tests conducted by actual experts today, top-tier Nicaraguan and Dominican cigars consistently massacre the Cubans. The non-Cuban brands age their tobacco for 5, sometimes 10 years. They have rigorous draw testing machines. They actually care if you enjoy the smoke.
And here is the ultimate punchline, Jerry. Who exactly are you funding when you buy a Cuban cigar today?
The Cuban government, obviously. You just told me it's a state-run monopoly.
Half of it is, but the rabbit hole goes deeper. The other 50% of Habanos SA isn't owned by farmers. It was quietly bought up by a shadowy consortium of Asian investment conglomerates using offshore shell companies.
Wait, what?
Exactly. A few years ago, corporate giants sold their half of the monopoly for over $1 billion to venture capitalists tied to Macau casinos and Chinese billionaires. They realized that the newly wealthy elite in Asia wanted Cuban cigars as the ultimate status symbol. So these foreign investors intentionally jacked up the global prices overnight. Your $20 cigar became an $80 cigar, not because the quality improved, but because it was turned into a financial asset for high rollers in Hong Kong. You aren't just funding a broken Caribbean regime, Jerry. You are funding an offshore Asian investment portfolio.
Do yourself a favor, Jerry. Stop smoking a passport stamp and start smoking actual craftsmanship. The guys making this one actually had to compete for your money.
Wow, the wrapper is flawless. It smells like roasted cocoa.
Yeah, it's called actually giving a damn. Try it sometime. The next time a guy in a suit offers you a Cuban cigar as the ultimate flex, just smile and know he's paying a premium for a beautifully packaged lie. He is funding a monopoly that stopped caring before he was even born. If you want to know how else the elite are manipulating your reality and selling your own ego back to you, click right here. Keep one eye open and your humidor is stocked with the truth.